Hello. Today broadcasting from my apartment in Montenegro. Hope you'll enjoy the view on the background. It's very nice here. Please don't pay attention to my swelled face. I've got some quite severe allergy to blossom. And unfortunately I'm spending 80% of my time in tropical countries where everything is blossoming non-stop. So that's inevitable. So the topic today is gold mining in Tanzania. According to the statistics, Tanzania is the biggest miner and exporter of gold in the world. At least that's what I found. Before we start, I must admit that I'm not a specialist in Tanzania gold mining. I'm usually not very interested in gold at all, so everything what I'm going to tell you is what I was told. In some cases it was translated twice, therefore I wouldn't be able to tell how many percents of information was changed or lost. So please don't take me wrong. And if you have some interesting facts to share or you want to correct me, you're very welcome to leave your thoughts in comments. Because I have no doubt there must be people who are specialized in gold mining exactly. I'm not one of them, however this topic has always been fascinating for me. Since I was a boy, I've been dreaming about visiting the true gold mine, seeing Maasai warriors and so on. Mostly thanks to the adventure books which I used to read a lot. Of course, in my dreams I would always find a huge gold nugget. But expectations and reality are two different worlds. Because in Tanzania there are no gold nuggets, only dust. But anyway, I believe it will be interesting and useful for you to participate in the process even through the lens of my camera. What concerns gold nuggets? I believe many of you have seen video with crowds of people hurrying up with shovels somewhere. It happened so in some nearby country they have encountered the deposit of gold like in those novels of my old childhood. Heaps and heaps of gold nuggets. But when something like that happens, it always brings some ugly situations and even criminal. So I wouldn't risk my life for it. Some people say that gold is a very good investment, that its price is growing. But I'm not sure about that. You know that we run our own production in several countries. So I always buy gold as a material, and I haven't noticed so far the constant growth of the price. Mostly it was up and down scenario. My guess is that they have kinda the same situation like Rappaport Diamond Report, meaning that there is a market price and a real world price. And it depends on how lucky you can get with it. We buy gold from Thai miners. They wash gold near to the borders with Laos, also gold dust, not nuggets. All mining is private, so basically you just need to buy land and start washing. No special license needed, just like in many other countries. I do plan to go there and investigate later. What about the road to the gold mine? Most part of that way near the northern borders with Kenya looked very decent. And the mine itself was very much okay too. It's important to mention that because mostly people picture the gold or diamond mine like in Hollywood movies. A bunch of people with machine guns are watching a bunch of slaves who dig in dirt while enjoying cocaine and whores. So that is absolutely not what it looks like in real life. It's pretty much ordinary looking mining town. And after years of travel around the globe, I can say with confidence, mining towns almost always look very similar. 100% safe spot without a single man with weapon. No police or military representatives as well. That already says a lot. It actually says that there is no criminal there. Locals told me the same. So basically if you want to dig gold, you need to buy land, register the company, and off you go. To the bright golden future. That's why there are different sizes of mines. The one which I visited is small. But they're really gigantic minings with tens of thousands of people. I especially like the governmental tax policy in Tanzania, by the way. You know, it's difficult to count who has mined what. That's why they do it in a very simple old-fashioned way. Every week on Tuesday, early morning like 6 or 7 a.m., the officials from the government come to check how many bags of material people have got. They document everything, record and take photos. And they simply take 7.6%, that's it. Then that 7.6% of material goes to the government factory where they wash the material, and all what is found belongs to the government. I think that's very much fair way to do. So in this case, the miners don't have to bother themselves with schemes. Hide the mined material before the inspection or whatever. They could go for some dirty combination, but it would be too tiresome. And sooner or later someone would get caught. And nobody wants that. Another thing that I adore about the way they organize work is that people who actually do the job are not paid a salary. The owner of a mine buys the bags of mined material from them. How does it look? So for example, I decided to start mining. I buy a piece of land, then some guy comes to me and suggests the full package of services needed for mining itself. So he and people, blast, generators, equipment, and so on. So he organizes the mining, and then I, as an owner, buy the material from him at some fixed price. Or leave for him a fixed percent of bag. Of course, there is always a representative of the owner at the mining. His job is to watch and count how many bags have been mined. But actually, if you know this business, you can imagine approximately how many bags the brigade of 10 people can mine a day. So even if they decided to cheat and mine some more for themselves, it would most probably be physically impossible. So in general, everything is pretty much clear. Now at least I've heard that in Tanzania they also had very ugly issues involving criminals, but the government managed to eliminate the problem. Big respect for that. The deceased president has also applied the protective taxes on import of heavy machinery, and persuaded even big company not to hurry with substitution of manual labor with machines. He explained that even if one can afford to buy a couple of excavators for mining, they still need to think about workers who would lose their jobs. Imagine what a catastrophe for local economy it would be if a huge company who employed thousands of people and fired them all at once after getting the machines to do the same job. I think it's really great that the government tries to take care of people first of all. He worked out the special program of modernization, which would allow to implement heavy machinery gradually, letting people to adapt, master new skills and find new options of income. And the big companies that obviously have enough money to buy all the new equipment right now supported him. So let's now start watching. I'll be doing the comments as we go, so you wouldn't understand what is happening there, because otherwise you might get lost. Hello everyone. On our way we spotted this quarry. Of course everyone has gathered to look at me. Anyway, what's interesting here? Look at that construction. These rocks must be granite. They're placing the hot charcoal so to create the difference in temperature. Eventually it cracks the stone from inside. I see such a method for the first time, and it's obviously amusing them a lot. However, I'm starting to remember that I've seen once on Discovery the field about Hannibal leading the troops across Alps. They had elephants, and sometimes the mountain paths were too narrow for huge beasts. And it was said that Hannibal destroyed the rocks with the help of fire. I couldn't understand for a long time what does it mean. Now I see. Aha, that one is already cracked. But people say that if we continue heating it, it will break into 2-3 more pieces. And about Hannibal, it was said that he applied fire as well, but also poured vinegar on the hot stone, so to facilitate the process. The locals use only fire. Usually it takes 1 day to crack the rock. Like that one in the corner, for example. It's expected to fall apart today in the evening, while the fire was placed in the morning. So these people have just proved the theory of Discovery Channel. Look at this rock. It's about 5 meters high. They say that with help of such mini fires, it can be cracked into tiny pieces in 2 or 3 days. And if we start fire in different spots at once, maybe even within 24 hours. The guy is going to throw in some more wood. Honestly, I don't think that Hannibal used vinegar. First of all, just imagine a cistern of vinegar he would have to take with him for that purposes. Moreover, here now it's hot, and the difference in temperature is still enough. In Alps it's much more chilly place, so it would crack even faster. Hello again. We arrived to the smallest gold mine. By smallest we mean the one where only 1,700 people are working. It's not like with diamonds or other gems, where sometimes a few people can do the job. Now have just received the approval of access to the mining from a director. And it was very funny as well. Because as we met, their director started giving a very long pitch in front of the staff. From time to time he was pointing at me and saying, Canada. My driver opposed, pointing at me, Russia. Then it was another long pitch, and again the director like, blah blah blah, Canada. My driver again, Russia. And then we shook hands, smiled at each other, and waved goodbye happily. As soon as the director disappeared out of sight, I asked my driver what had just happened. So basically the director was giving an inspiring pitch to workers so that they would do their best to impress the foreigner from Canada. At this point my driver would try to correct and say that I'm from Russia. But the director didn't care and continued calling me Canadian. After all, he said, Canada or Russia doesn't matter much, because we all look the same for locals. Fair enough, I would not also be able to tell the difference between Tanzanian and Kenyan just by the look, unless they're Maasai. This is the minor settlement. And here I spotted this building. To go inside you need to pay for tickets. They're watching something. Your guess, what could it be? Let's come in and have a look. Yep, that's right. This is local cinema and they're watching football every day. There are no films or RV shows, just football games, and people are happy with that, because there are no other entertainment options. Another interesting fact, it appeared that they mine silver here as well, not only gold. I didn't know that. And they also scared the shit out of me when they said that they also mine uranga. I could breathe out only when found out that uranga is not uranium, but the fool's gold in their language. The white t-shirt is the son of the owner, the heir. And this is shaft number 1, about 10 meters long. I'm not going to climb inside, as both you and I already know how does it look. So basically the process is pretty much simple. They set up the blast, blow some rocks, then go down to put everything into bags, and then lift the bags up. Here the bags are stored. In total there are 54 shafts. Each bag will give about 10 grams of gold. Normally the workers mine 10 kilograms of pure gold a day. Don't forget that the government gets 7.6%. And the locals complain that it's a lot. I'm thinking if I should tell them what are the taxes in other countries. They're very lucky actually with such a low tax rate. This is how they lift the bags up. The usual winch, nothing special. The tent is also pretty simplistic but still does the job. Here it's not so hot. Here we see the copper layer, but nobody cares. Copper doesn't bring the same money, so all of it just decorated the roads. I think it's very much wrong. Such a waste of material. We're having some troubles with translation, because here people speak Sukuma, which is one of Bantu languages as well, but driver doesn't understand it very well. So we have to double check everything. After several calls to the owner and head engineer, it appeared that they mine 3 kilograms per day, not 2. You see those tents? Don't panic, those are not their permanent homes. It's just temporary accommodation. When they finish the job, they go back to their families and proper houses. But even here those tents are used only during the day. Let's go and have a look where do they spend nights. These are the cabins for workers. Of course it's not a luxury hotel, but it's not supposed to be it. The main function to keep people dry and safe, that's it. You see the writing Kalimila Guest House. That is the miners' jokes, of course. Not many people now. Everyone is working. In the evening it will be nice here. The houses let you rest and cool down. Here they've got showers. So if any of you have ever been to an archaeological expedition or something, you for sure will find all of this very much familiar. I have participated in expeditions many times before, so nothing here is shocking me. Aha! And this is the most important part of the settlement, billiard. You can't mine gold without it. It's 100% of success. Here I'm recording my voice over the video, because originally it's too loud there. So you see on the video what do they do with the material. First of all, the women crush rocks with these pounders. Then it goes to that rotating grinder. I guess inside there must be some bearings which are crushing everything into dust. Then they layer the grinded dust on plastic sheets to dry. After that, they knead the dust like dough in special bowls. And then the mercury is applied to collect the particles of gold into small balls. But it's still not the biggest percent of gold. Most of it is still mixed with dust. Therefore, the next stage is to load that dust in a truck and send to the nearest factory, where they collect almost all of the remaining gold with the help of special chemicals. The gold precipitate together with charcoal. The result mass is taken back to the first station. And again we need to layer it all under the sun and dry. And do the described above process all over again. So one more time we need to knead the golden dough, wash it, and use mercury to accumulate the gold particles. I don't know what kind of chemicals do they use on the factory, but honestly I don't think that it's any kind of essential information for us. However, if someone wants to dig deeper, you can always Google it. So to sum up, the process includes the following main stages. Blow the rock, collect the material, crush it into dust. The first stage of gold extraction with mercury. Chemical processing. The second stage of gold extraction with mercury. The first and the second stage are made by hands. This is a very simplistic and quick overview from a person who doesn't have a special education in this area. So this is gold.
Yes.
And how they make it separate from coal? And can I take it? Can I see coal? This is how the gold looks in the end. This is when we collected the gold particles with mercury. Now they will be sent for casting. You can definitely tell that it's gold by the weight. Even such small ball feels quite heavy. So as I told you before, with the help of mercury we can extract only 25% of gold. The rest is extracted here. This is the factory lab. They ran some tests, but I have no idea which one and for what, because they don't speak English. These are heaps of processed material near the house of head engineer. And some huge tanks. I'm trying to find out what is it. Remember, language barrier problem.
From there, so they put here inside. They mix with some medicine like this one. Nanini? Nanini? Sanaidi. Lidi.
Ammonium.
And ammonium.
What I understood here is lidi, ammonium and sanadi. Don't know what is it though. So anyway, they mix the material and those chemicals, lidi, ammonium and sanadi, and the mixture is left for 48 hours. Then we're going to see what is happening. After 48 hours, they open up the taps and let the liquid flow here. Oh, that stings to be honest.
Ule udongo unafanywa mmeng'enyo. Sawa? Dhahabu inatoka kwenye mfumo wa maji kimiminika. Inapokuja hapa inakamatwa na kitu kinaitwa carbon.
So after coming from there, the gold will come like liquid, as a liquid until here. After here, that is get with the next one.
Carbon.
It's carbon.
So carbon is used as a filter. Okay. At least this makes sense. The problem is that the owner's son speaks not Swahili. That's why we can't be sure that the message is delivered precisely.
That is carbon?
Yes.
Carbon, and this is carbon. So that's three.
Yes, the three-step carbon filtration. Okay, and then?
You can get this one from there.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yanapofika hapa maji yanakuwa hayana dhahabu.
So once the water comes reach here, it doesn't have gold. So the gold will remain here. This.
Utayajuaje?
And how to know this it doesn't have gold?
How?
They know through there.
Oh, now I see. They take samples of that water and run tests to see how high is the gold concentration. It happens in this very modern laboratory, as you can see. I'm not a chemist, so there is nothing I can tell about what has been said already. Seems like this young guy enjoys a lot his roles of professor. He looks happy, doesn't he? His face looks very happy when he is doing this. Yeah, I think it's not the only job he does here, but it's his favorite one for sure.
So they check there, this one. If it's like this one, it doesn't have gold. This one has gold, so now they see that the gold is go out. So now they...
Oh, I see. So it means if the water is black, you need to take it out, right?
No, you need to control it so that you can get to the white gold.
Kwa hiyo hapa yenyewe ina dhahabu zaidi kuliko hiyo.
Okay.
So, once you see here, it's just more gold than this one. So.
Okay, I see. The darker color, the more gold. I can see something yellowish, but I'm not sure if it's the gold. So as I told you before, that black charcoal dust is to be taken back to be washed and treated again with mercury. Can I see? Thank you. And this is the very final result. Thank you very much. It was very loud inside, so I'm going to comment outside. For sure you will ask how much does the gold cost here. So if you come to this place, you can buy 1 gram for $60. There is no way to say what standard it is. And now it's time to start our way back. 300 kilometers from here to the airport, as I need to fly back to Zanzibar tomorrow 6 a.m. So that's pretty much it. You see, the process is semi-manual. The settlement looks okay, not luxury, but it doesn't tell about poverty. It's a normal temporary accommodation for workers. I asked them what is the average salary, so they work in Artel. As you know already, they get paid for the results, so it does depend on how rich the certain part of mine is. But still on average it's between $500 and $600 per month. One person, of course. They do indeed work hard, and as I understand, some parts of jobs are not very healthy as they include mercury. But in Africa, for a person without a special education, it's very good money. Oh, by the way, there were a few situations when some workers were very unhappy with me recording videos. They were even threatening to beat my ass. I asked the owner why do they react so aggressively. He explained that of course in such remote areas there are some people who have a dark background. So obviously they're not very happy with being caught with camera objective. That is pretty much standard situation, as nobody checks the documents and history here. So finally we returned. Unfortunately it was already dark, which was very bad, because I wanted to see Victoria Lake so badly. But the next morning I was supposed to be present at a very important meeting in Zanzibar, so there was no way. Well, maybe next time. Anyway, I want to come back for sure. I have heard that there are lots of endemic spices there. Unfortunately, they might not last due to the local ecological catastrophe. As Kenya is more developed than Tanzania, they have some industrial production, which dump the wastewaters in the lake directly. So it would be interesting to see with my own eyes. I was also told that Victoria Lake is famous for its scenery views. However, I haven't noticed that when we were traveling on a ferry. Most of shores looked quite inhabited. I even spotted some big city on the bank, maybe several millions of citizens. And local people said that its economy is based on agriculture and fishing, which is amazing. Can you imagine how much fish they need? And in the end, I want to answer the question which I always get after new video. People usually are like, thank you for the video, now I know what to do. I will go to Arusha, buy some gems and everything will be tip-top. However, this is not quite how does it happen. First of all, you need to register the company as I did and get the permission to trade gems. Some people might hope that they can just quickly do the deal and then disappear in the crowd. But it's not gonna work here. The laws are very strict and locals have too good memory. So that's it for today. See you next time!